Spoiler alert. The following will contain spoilers for Deadpool and Wolverine. Wesley Snipes on Blade. So, if you have watched Deadpool and Wolverine, which I'm assuming by the fact that you're watching this, you have seen it, or you just don't care about spoilers. Wesley Snipes had a fantastic cameo in Deadpool and Wolverine, which, if you've seen my review, you've seen the spoiler review, I was ecstatic. I was screaming like a teen girl at a concert, like when T'Challa came back, in Endgame. Yes, yes. I was happy. I was excited. I was feeling the energy from the Daywalker coming back. What a fantastic cameo it was. I loved every second of it, except for one part. Now, before I get to that part, and I know you guys know what it is, I've been saying, and I'll continue to say, that Blade has been the foundation and the main reason why the MCU exists. I saw some people in my last video not really understand what I meant. What I meant was, if you look up the history, Marvel was going bankrupt. That's why they had to sell Spider-Man and all the other character rights. And it was Blade and those Wesley Snipes movies, shout out to Wesley, for those Blade movies that sparked the hope that, hey, maybe Marvel actually has a future. And that's what saved Marvel. So Blade, as I said before, the Daywalker walked so the Iron Man could fly. So the respect on Blade has to be placed. And now, something else that I've been saying too, the fact that Blade just showed up. I was saying they should have done this in Doctor Strange. When you was going through all them little multiverses, just show Wesley. Just one time, just show him. Because the moment you show Blade at all, Wesley Snipes' Blade, that makes all those previous movies canon. Which means the 98 Blade and on are officially in the MCU, which is the way I believe it should always have been. So now that Blade is officially in the MCU, I love it. I love it. My man is back. He's doing his thing. He had a great couple scenes in the movie. It was fantastic. But there was a line I did not care for. Did not. And that line was in the movie where he said, there's only ever been one Blade, which is true. Well, kind of. We're just going to throw that TV Blade under the bus like that. And then he said, but there will only ever be one Blade. And Deadpool looked at the screen, was like, ooh. I didn't like that comment. I didn't like that. And, I was on, Just My Opinions channel, and we were doing the spoiler review. So you guys can go there for, more in depth. But I did not like the comment. And listen, I don't care if it was a joke. Some people think that just because, you don't like a joke, that means you missed it. I know why it was funny. I just didn't like it. And the reason why I didn't like the joke was because, as we've talked about for weeks and months and almost years now at this point, we know that Blade has been in production hell. We know that it's just not been happening. So for me, I was like sitting here looking at what Blade said, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm cool with you being Blade Prime. I'm cool with you being the best Blade. But to sit here and say that you're going to be the only Blade and there's never going to be another Blade after you, like, I didn't like that. Because for me, I had always heard Wesley sit here and say, yo, I like Mahershala. I gave him my blessing, yada, yada, yada. And that was cool. I thought he was on his side. And then to say something like that. And here's the other thing. Not only did he deliver the line, but Marvel, y'all wrote that off. You wrote that off. Kevin Feige, you let that roll. So I'm sitting here saying, like, was that a shot at Mahershala? Did y'all really just throw Mahershala under the bus? So for me, I was like, yo, I don't, it felt a little messy. Now, again, Wesley, talk your stuff because you deserve it. You deserve the flowers. You deserve the recognition. You deserve the respect, all of that. But I'm like, yo, why are we taking shots at the other brother that literally wants to do the same project? He wants to carry on your legacy. Why was something like this allowed? Now, if this was one of those ways to kind of poke fun at Marvel for not having, because the whole movie was about Marvel poking fun at themselves, I just thought that the joke was in poor taste. I just didn't like it. It felt like black on black violence, And I see people saying like, well, Wesley wasn't the writer. First of all, I'm pretty sure if Wesley doesn't want to do something, he won't do it. Second of all, why would you do that if like if you're the studio? Like why would you pit two actors in the same franchise against each other like that? Like again, I don't like how that looked. I didn't like it. Anyway, Wesley did come out and he gave an interview. He gave an interview about his return, and I thought that there was a lot of good stuff in here. So let me get into it. That's Jonathan. There we go. He talked about his comeback, and he said here, over the years, we've had interesting conversations. This was between him and Marvel. And he said, so I kind of resided that I was moving on from them, which is okay. He already understood that, hey, Marvel, y'all already doing the Blade, y'all doing your own thing. It's fine. It's fine. Whatever. Moved on. He said that I did not think it was possible. I didn't think we would be able to pull it off. I didn't think that Marvel was into it. Disney was into it. Also, because they had Mahershala Ali cast for the next upcoming version of Blade. And Ryan Reynolds did call him up, and he said, like, he told me the idea. They said yes, and it was a go. If you're in, we're in. Here we are. All right. So that was all it took, right? It took basically Ryan Reynolds to send Wesley Snipes a text and just be like, yo, let's do this Blade thing. Wesley didn't really believe it, but he was like, I bet, Now shout out to Wesley, because he also mentioned how like not only did he have to keep his role a big secret, but he also had to, as he would say, get Blade ready. My man, listen, he went out, he worked out for like a month, got in shape to do those action scenes. Shout out to my man right there. That's good stuff, because he's old, but he did his thing. He started saying we started shooting before the strike, and that was in the summer. Then we had to come back, and it was winter. So I looked at that as like, oh, wait a minute. You shot that shot and that scene that I was referring to, you shot that early. That was in the midst of all the production delays. That was in the midst, because remember, around the strike, that's when Blade had lost a director, they lost their writers and all of that stuff. That's when like it was at the peak of all the nonsense that was going on with the movie. So I'm sitting here thinking like, wait a minute, this isn't something new that you said. This is something that you said like years ago. Okay. All right. Just didn't really help me with the whole joke or whatever. Now he said when he was asked if he had a chance to connect with Ali since Blade's reboot was announced, Snipes said not since all the stories about the reboots and all of that have dropped, we haven't spoken. So this kind of goes back to what he said before. And Wesley said in an old interview in 2019, he congratulated Ali for landing the job, calling him a beautiful and talented artist whose expressions I look forward to experiencing for many years to come. And this is pretty much what I had said before, that I definitely was kind of taken back. And this is why I was like, yo, wait a minute. If you were shouting him out back in the day, what's the problem now? Like, why would you make this shot? And by the way, for some people that are saying like, it's not that deep, too sensitive, I don't care. Like, I don't care. Hello, I'm a movie critic. I'm also a fan of superhero movies, and I like Black representation. It's important to me. So I don't care if it's not deep for you. That's fine. I don't care if you don't care. I care about this. All right. So I just want to make people understand it's fine. It's my thing. And I'm okay with that. I'm very okay with standing and representing for Black representation and wanting to see my favorite comic book characters on screen. I'm okay with that. Just want to let y'all know that. All right. But let me also say this, because this that Wesley said, I think was very important, and I'm glad that he said this. He said, I shot him out. I told him he's got all my blessings and support. I even referenced the fact that some of the challenges they're facing now with the project, it shouldn't be accredited to him. He's talking about Mahershala Ali. He said here, it's not the actor's fault. There's a lot more that goes on with pulling this Blade stuff off. You need a lot of secret sauce to do the Blade thing, man. Good luck. You're my man, though. Hey, you know what? That's all I needed to hear. So, yes, I was definitely feeling some type of way because of the line in the movie. I just didn't like it. If it was a joke, whatever, it didn't work for me. But I respect the hell out of Wesley Snipes for at least giving me a level of clarity of saying it's not Mahershala Ali's fault. Now I feel better because my biggest problem was I hope this brother is not throwing another brother under the bus. That's my whole issue. I did not want that to be a thing, but I'm glad that he threw his support behind Ali. I'm even more glad that he said it ain't him. So clearly, and I think we talked about this in the last update too. Kevin Feige, like, can you hurry up and finish that script? My man was sitting there talking about he only read half of the script and you don't have a director. That's on the studio. That's on the studio at that point. That's not Mahershala Ali. Even though it was reported Mahershala had all this power and he can reject stuff and all that, but it's clearly on Kevin Feige at this point. I mean, and I think that's not salacious or anything. That's by his own admission. He has not finished reading the script for Blade. And who knows if he has more changes he wants to make? Who knows if the new director that they haven't even picked yet? Who knows if that director is going to have changes? And who knows if Mahershala is going to have a scheduling conflict? There's a whole lot of mess going on. But I'm very appreciative that Wesley Snipes made it clear it's not Ali's fault. I'm good with that. So you guys let me know. What did you think about the whole Wesley Snipes interview about his path coming back to Blade? Or I'm sorry, to Deadpool and Wolverine. How'd you feel about the joke? Maybe you didn't care, and that's fine. It's okay if you didn't care. I will own, I'll own that. That's fine if it's just me. But what did you think about his final comment? Basically, taking any and all pressure off of Ali and saying like, "Nah, that's it ain't him." And if it ain't him, you know who else it could be, you know. But y'all let me know what did you think in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. This was just a segment of one of my live chats, and if you're interested in joining in on the next one, be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications for more. I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you all later.